Welcome, makers, to Anmaree's workshop. This is my playlist on pastimes in paradise. I sewed a lot of things last year and made a lot of things last year. This video is my 2021 favorite makes from last year. Alright, so I've included like some of my favorite makes in this video. I'm going to tell you what they were, and then hopefully they'll appear beside me. And at the very bottom here, I will put the pattern numbers when I edit this video. One of the first things was my double-sided, I believe it's the L'Amour dress by Gertie. It's included here. It is in green, black, and yellow, and white. These are Jamaican Independence, Jamaican colors, and I love a reversible dress. And because this dress required boning, and I'm an apple shape, so I'm not really a fan of boning. So in order to give it more substance, I double-sided I reversed the dress. I made it so if I have to use a lot of facings, it becomes a double-sided dress or a double-sided shirt. So, and very useful. I made one for myself, one for my daughter. And I ended up making the matching bolero jackets to go with them. So we will use them during festival time in Jamaica. Also, it was just fun to wear it other times. It's a sweep of a circular skirt. It's just lovely. The next thing is my Simplicity hacking pattern. Now you're going to see a whole bunch of these shirts and different iterations of it, because when you have leftover fabric from a large project, a lot of the times you can move these different pieces around and get yourself some shirts. So these are some of the shirts. It is one of my favorite patterns of last year. This is an old Simplicity pattern. It is still inside the pattern book. It's one of their hacking patterns. You can make it with short sleeves, you can make it with ruffles, you can make it with a swallowtail in the back, you can make it high-low, front and back, you can make it, and I have made it in so many different ways. This next favorite make is a romper pattern. I made it for my daughter, and I also made it for my daughter-in-law. I don't have pics of my daughter-in-law in it, but I do have pics of my daughter in it. She absolutely loved it. She wants me to make it in pants. She wants me to make it all different ways. And so it's included in one of my favorites because she wears it constantly. This next favorite is the Amy Butler gumdrop pillow. I think I've made 8 of these. They're wonderful to eat up scrap material, and as far as my sustainable sewing, I used it a lot. I did modify the pattern and added, as you can see, a zipper on it so that I could continue to stuff it as it got as the fabric settled. And I think like I said, I've made quite a bit of them. They're lovely. They're wonderful underfoot. Now, if you stuff them with old pillows, they're light. But if you stuff them with fabric scraps, old outfits that you cannot donate because they're so grubby, they're very stable hassock. All right, my next thing is, let's see, what was it? It's McCalls 7727, and I made this dress in response to seeing a two-tone dress that was on sale at Target, and they didn't have my size, and they were sold out anyway. So I made this in a fuchsia and a pink eyelet material, and everywhere I wear it, people stop me and ask me where I got it or would I make one for them, but I only sew for people I love. So this is one of my favorites of last. Another favorite is this McCalls 8090, and I call it my resort dress. The fabric was luscious. The trim was indulgent. It was just gorgeous. And I wore it to Goldeneye, a beautiful resort in Jamaica. and my daughter-in-law left with it. She loved it, and I let her have it. So I think I'll show a picture of her in it here. It was lovely to make. Very, very, it was just a great one. So she left with it. That one's gone too. As I told you, sometimes you sew something for yourself and you're like, well, where am I ever going to wear this to? But someone you love may take it off your hands. Speaking of which, this is McCall's bomber jacket, and I'll include the number below. This was a double-sided jacket made with some beautiful knit fabric. And if you go back to one of my, I think I'll put a card in here about the video that has this jacket in here. Double-sided, beautiful. I wore it to America to keep myself warm. I did not leave with it. My daughter took it, so that's another missing in action outfit that I made, but they loved it, and it was one of my favorites of last year. This other dress, and I'll include the pattern number underneath, is it's a very simple pattern. It's almost like an apron. It's just lovely. I can't wait to find another border print in order to make this again. Very simple to make, wonderful to wear, gets stopped all the time. When you know you've made something good, when people stop you and say, where did you get it? And when you tell them you sewed it, they're crestfallen. Would you make me one? No, I only sew for people I love. Alrighty. This next dress is a Rachel Comey. She always makes these, it's a Vogue pattern. She always makes these oversized patterns, and when you make them, you think they're huge, but when you wear them, they're just so beautiful, and I think it's an example of great design. So this is one of my favorites from last year. Now, I counted up. I think I made maybe 40 items last year, but you're seeing my favorites. Alrighty. Okay, let's see. This is New Look D0723, made with a wonderful material from Melanated Fabrics. Beautifully, lays beautifully. It's a wonderful knit. The design is wonderful. I wear it with navy, black, white pants. It became one of my staples of last year. All right. Oh, so now this is the Mimi G Duster. Now, I made this in a Ankara fabric, a striped Ankara fabric. I cannot count and tell you how many times I was stopped in this duster. There was nowhere I went where some woman didn't stop, and one man stop and ask me where I got it, how they could get one. I made another one in an unbelievable fabric I'm going to include here that my daughter had bought, sequin, sheer, and everything, and 22 people stopped her to find out where she got this coat. So Mimi G, this was an awesome pattern. I loved wearing my version. I resisted the attempts of people to remove it from me in my family. I said, I'm sorry, I can't give you this one. I so love it. This next dress is the Maris dress, and I will include the pattern below. Just a stunning architectural dress. It hangs a certain way. My daughter-in-law wanted this one, but I was like, oh, I really love this one. The marigold color is just perfect. I also made it it comes in shirt, tunic, and dress. I've made the shirt and I have made the dress. I'm coming after the tunic next. But in a linen, this fabric I got is a linen blend, and it's just been wonderful. I've worn it several times. I'm going to wear it a lot more. Here's also a picture of the top in action. I did it in a shimmery kind of fabric left over from a wedding I had gone to. I had just enough fabric to do the top, or I would have done the tunic so I could wear it with white pants. but it was a killer. It was wonderful. Now I'm going to show you these two items were just precious. They're two-sided skirts that I had this pattern in many different iterations, many different pattern companies, but I used the following pattern in order to do this, but just beautiful and double-sided. And because of the weight of the fabrics and the fact that I did not encase the hem in bias tape, I used one side was a taffeta and one side was a Ankara cotton. So I used a cotton bias tape on the Ankara side, and then on the side that had taffeta, I used a bias black satin tape. They move wonderfully. People stopped me and asked me where I got the skirt, and I got tired saying, I made it. And once again, would you make me one? I'm sorry, no. All right, and then the next one is a dress that did not make it home from Golden Eye Resort. My daughter wore it, and I'll show you this picture of it. It is a blue lace fabric from Fabric Mart, and I made it. I'll put the pattern below, and I made it. I lined it in a brown sheer stretch material so that you could not see through the holes. Stunning. It was stunning, comfortable. Wore it everywhere until it walked off with my daughter. Alrighty. Now, the following quilts, because I am a maker, so I do make quilts as well. I think I've completed about 5 this year because I had 3 weddings, and I'll have a card to those, to the link to that video that shows those other quilts. But these quilts were lovely. I made them for 3 weddings. Christina, I'm not going to do the names, I'm going to mess up. But here are samples of some of the different quilts that I made. They're from Kaffe Fasset's book, Glorious Quilts. Yeah, I think it's a leafy garden pattern, but I'll include below what they were. Wonderful to make, beautiful results. I especially loved putting the pom-poms on the candy quilt for Shabrina and her husband Amal. But they were some of my favorites. And I'm going to show you this dress. This is a copy. I don't have a pattern for this dress. This is one of my daughter's favorite dresses, and she's a huge proponent of vintage and retro. She'll go to the Goodwill and Salvation Army and find something because she doesn't like to buy a lot of new. So this dress pattern is a pattern that I I copied from the actual dress. I added the crinoline underskirt we were going to have a rehearsal dinner. And as you can see her twirling in this outfit, you'll see that it was a winner. It was one of my favorite. I call it her Spider-Man dress because of the red and the black and the shots of brilliant blue. It's an Ankara fabric. I thought it was just red and black, but when it came, it was red and black with shots of blue. But it turned out to be a beautiful dress on her. And my very last one is, I think that's it. I hope that you are having a wonderful sewing year this year. I've already gotten started. I'll be quilting at the beginning of this year. I'm going to do a 9 makes video because I have 5 tubs of cutout patterns from last year, much less all the material I bought when I was in America. Oh dear. Anyway, so keep making. People will find you and you'll enjoy wearing what you're wearing. And so goodbye from paradise, pastimes in paradise.